In a huge shift of events, Deon now has the ammo to go after Gensler and win. Breaking news that I have to share with you, along with big changes to the crypto industry as we see.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
That's right, Deon's got the ammo to take down Gary, and XRP is pumping on the news. But before we get into this, your comments come first. Hot, spicy, naughty, relevant. Maybe I'll share it at the beginning of the next video. By the way, I do these comments at random times, all right? So don't think because you're first or because you're last you get picked. No, it's random. Tim in Gobble says, who knows what the future holds, but right now this thing is pumping. The whole move should be used as evidence against Gary Gensler being personally liable to all XRP holders in a massive lawsuit. Otherwise, what's to stop the next Fugazi crony from pulling another scam scandal? Well, Tim, guess what? There is a lawsuit against the SEC, and that's by Deon. And Deon has to prove damages, and we're going to talk about it because something important is happening. Mark Fusco says, let's be careful that Gensler doesn't pull a Clayton or Hinman on his way out of the office, that son of a bitch. That's right, he's leaving on the 20th, and oh my, do I've got news to share with you. Bitcoin sitting at 98,576, ETH is 3313, BNB at 624, while XRP, ADA, and XLM all deep in the green. Algo as well. Check this out. XRP up 30%, ADA up 18%, XLM up 23%. So yes, there's Bitcoin dominance happening right now. 26 out of 100. But you're seeing individual alts make their moves. BNB made its move over some time. All right, we saw ICP make its move. We saw Doge make its move, still making move. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's not all happening at once as like a big wave. So when you look at this data of altcoin season index, remember, not all the pumps in alts happened at the same time. They've come in different waves. So this is a little different than the bull run we saw of 2021. Now, in terms of volume down for the overall market, 5%. But XRP's volume is freaking exploding right now, up 213% to 21.2 billion. But let's get into the news first because a lot is changing. Crypto traders excited for regulatory clarity under Trump. This is from Robinhood. At this point, we're looking for something that we can work with because we know how to work with regulators. And so you know, a company like Robinhood is already regulated by the SEC, FINRA, the New York Department of Financial Services, and we have a BIT license. Robinhood Crypto Vice President and GM John Carabet explained to Yahoo, if we have this clear framework where it's not just regulation by enforcement, we'll be able to make it work and offer cryptocurrency safely to customers. Yeah, think about what happened. The whole crypto by enforcement thing, Gensler, the SEC, they made a lot of people like very weary of the whole industry and didn't give people a lot of safe options. Remember, the SEC is about protecting the investor, and in fact, Deon assesses that XRP's value has been harmed by the SEC and Gensler, and guess what? He's got ammo to take it down. I'm going to share that story with you, but I got more good stuff, okay? So you're even seeing Robinhood kind of think, okay, we could get our crypto offerings bigger. Sol hits $264 record high as ETF filings, regulatory optimism drive market momentum. Recent filing from Bitwise, VanEck 21 shares in Canary Capital to launch Solana spot ETFs have added a bunch of momentum. Market analysts are optimistic about Solana's continued rise, setting a price target of 400 now that it has surpassed a previous all-time high of 260. I think a lot of the Sol start, like the big Sol move, started to happen with a lot of their memes being launched on there. That did bring quite a bit of oomph to the Sol move, and now we're seeing it take off even further. So again, this goes back to the stats of altcoin season. I get it. Maybe we're in altcoin season now. It's just happening differently in 2021. Sol's another good example. Doing its own thing, getting a further bump right now. Fans across the pond. I bring you the news, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad. I've got good news for you. See, this is global. This is really pushing a change. It's ushering in a new era of, hey, let's embrace the tech. Let's make regs that work for everyone, and let's freaking make this work. UK plots crypto overhaul. New legislative rules coming in early 2025, but these are rules that you're going to agree with. On Thursday, November 21st, Economic Secretary Tulip Siddiq announced that the simpler crypto framework will be coming in a matter of months. New regulations, originally slated for December, were delayed due to the change in government. Siddiq said the new regulations would focus on crypto, stablecoins, and staking. What he says, doing everything in a single phase is simpler and just makes more sense. Stablecoins will receive distinct treatment under these regulations as their functionality does not align with existing payment service rules. For me, it doesn't make sense to offer staking services to have this treatment. The government intends to proceed with removing this legal uncertainty. The Economic Secretary also said that staking services would not be classed as collective investment schemes, marking a win for a crypto industry as this would impose tight restrictions. Stablecoins saying that they don't fit. These are all things that we're all agreeing with. That this is new tech, that it needs new things, and it needs simpler regs. Stop making it so freaking complicated. So good move on the UK going with a simpler approach to regulation. Love it. Money flowing into BTC. Bitcoin ETF see $1 billion in inflows as BTC inches closer to 100,000. According to social value data, spot BTC ETFs, not BBC ETFs, BTC. Come on, get your heads out together. So daily net inflows totaling $1 billion on November 21st, underscoring the growing institutional interest in the world's largest crypto. BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, and ARK, they all made a shitload of money. That's the rest of the story. I mean, no, it's not really the rest of the story. That summarizes what basically happened. Because I think these exchanges and these companies that are launching these products and they're custodians of it, they're making money on all this transactional juice. So if they see $1 billion in volume and they're charging 0.25%, well, you do the math. You see $1 billion in volume sliding out, you do the math. It's my point. They're making money on the volume, and volume is juicy. Let's talk about Deon. And let's talk about Deon representing 70,000+ XRP holders. Now, Deon did not have a chance to win the election. I said that since the beginning. Honestly, he should have picked a different opponent. Warren and that whole voting area, they go strict blue. That's just how it goes, okay? But Deon does have a chance to win against Gensler in the SEC. And Deon's whole thing has been that the SEC, Gensler, they've harmed XRP investors. And the hardest part about Deon's entire case was, how do you prove it? And I want you to think about this. When BTC pumps, right, it takes the rest of the market with it. When BTC crashes, it definitely takes the rest of the market with it. So then Deon's argument of, hey, the SEC is to blame kind of falls apart, because then they're like, well, no, is it us? Or is it really BTC that tugs crypto up and down? And that's been one of the biggest hurdles. Proving that the SEC, Gary Gensler, are directly at fault for hurting XRP holders. And again, hard to prove. But the price action of XRP, since we've heard about the resignation of Gensler, is unbeatable, undeniable. Check it out. I've got it here up on the screen. Now look at this. This is from the announcement time when we heard about it to now. We are up big time. So now that you remove Gensler from the equation, what happens? XRP pumps even freaking harder. So wait a minute. You just removed a restriction, right? If you were to have a business and that business was doing really, really, really good, then all of a sudden your local city government comes in and is like, hey, look, we have to tear up the roads. Instead of making this a 2-lane highway, we're going to make it a 6-lane. It's going to be good for you in the long run, but for the next 3 to 4 years, your road access is going to be screwed. Awesome. It might be cool in the long run, but like in the short term, we're getting screwed. Well, and then all of a sudden, once that road is finished, then all of a sudden your sales pick back up. That's kind of the Gensler effect. So then you can directly point to XRP doing great and then getting pooped on by the SEC. And then as we see the changes to the SEC, XRP coming back. So you can definitely draw a correlation between the effect Gensler had on XRP and what Deon is saying about how Gensler harmed, and the SEC harmed XRP investors. It was hard to prove before because before it really was the BTC pull on the market. Global macros, right? When Luna UST crashed, it brought all of crypto down with it. Did that have anything to do with the SEC? No, it didn't. That had to do with that. What about when Celsius crashed and pulled the market down with it? Did it have anything to do with the SEC? No, it didn't. All of a sudden, Bitcoin and all. Get my point here? But now that Gary's gone, the wet blanket is removed. This thing can actually grow. And not only can it grow, it's easier to prove damages. Because as soon as the thing that was damaging XRP announced that it's going to be gone, the thing frickin' moved, and that is awesome. Let's talk XRP price. Oh man, Gensler effect, huh? Talk about it. Gary G, what's the best thing for XRP holders? Gary Gensler leaving. Number one, Trumpito win. Number two, Gensler leaving. Look at the move. $1.10 up to $1.50 on the news in regards to Gensler. That is great. Not only is it a move in terms of price action that is freaking juicy as hell, volume for the last couple days, from the 18th to the 21st, was right around that $5 to $6 billion mark. Normally, XRP's volume is $1 to $2 billion, okay? So it was still way high. We're now above 21 billion at the time of me recording this. 21 billion, everyone. So that's a 3.5x difference in volume compared to high volume. And that is a 10 to 20x increase in volume on Gensler announcing his resignation. So not only is this a juicy, beautiful chart to look at, I love the green, I love the big green mountains, it's also good for Deon, who lost against Warren, but who has a damn good chance of beating Gary in the SEC. So now you have to ask yourselves, how much more optimism is this market going to have in it in regards to XRP? Is $1.50 the limit to this move? We were sitting here thinking, hey, $1.20, $1.25, we got pushed back down on the initial move. It was $1.26 and change. We're thinking, well, maybe that's it. Well, guess what? We got the big news we were looking for, which was the Gensler effect, and boom, pushed us right through that. We still got to figure out who's going to be the new head of the SEC. We still have to figure out who some of these big appointments are going to be, and there's a lot of big crypto names that have been thrown around for this, which would be even better for XRP and all of us. So I get it. Is it Bitcoin season? Well, yeah, because BTC has been touching like all-time highs for like the longest time now. But boy, some of these alts are having one hell of a season as well, and will appear to be having even more of a season as more good news not only gets announced, happens, and takes effect. So Deon's got the ammo to make Gary squirm because, boy, as soon as Gary announces he's leaving, holy crap, XRP pumps even harder. What's good about this move, though, is that the volume is just absolutely insane, which means it's not over yet. We keep getting these waves of excitement, followed by kind of a little lull as we breathe out, and then boom, another wave of excitement. And I believe we have more waves to come. As not only are we going to get good news with crypto appointments in the government, you're going to keep hearing about more good news, like in the UK, where we're going to get simpler rules, more updated regs. This is going to be a global phenomenon that happens in waves because not every country is going to be in the same timeline. Not only do we have that, you've got rates coming down over the next 12 to 18 months, which is going to further enhance the fiscal investments in crypto and other risky assets out there, which guess what? Aren't so risky anymore. And globally aren't so risky anymore. And when things aren't as risky, guess what happens? More conservative money, fiscally conservative, not politically conservative, but more fiscally conservative money starts coming in because the risk isn't as crazy. What about Charles Schwab and that story I brought up earlier? You didn't hear it? Well, I'll have it linked at the end of this. They were very, very much like, yo, we're not touching crypto. And now they're like, dude, we look silly. We got egg on our face. We screwed up. We should have gotten into this. So now they're going to start doing some spot crypto action. This is just changing so quickly every day. And it's changing for the better. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it because it spreads this, gives it more suggested views. It spreads news like this, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad. And today's all good news. So choo-choo, bitches.